We're still rolling here in Canton, Ohio, are we not? So I have a question which most specifically will go to you folks up there, but I can ask all around. How about them Cowboys? They're still with us. Okay, I knew you hadn't lost your attention span, that's for sure. As a rookie in 1989, Troy Aikman played for a team that won one game. At the end of the 1995 season, that would be just 6 years later, he owned 3 Super Bowl rings. 3 of them. Efficient? Yeah. How about clutch? 6-1 combined in Super Bowls and championship games, including, of course, 3-0 in Super Bowls when he completed a record 70% of his passes. There's a ton of pressure when you're drafted first overall in the National Football League, more than anybody would know. Troy Aikman took that pressure and he ran with it. Check that. He passed with it. Troy Aikman owned the decade of the 1990s. He won 90 regular season games in the 90s, the most wins of any starting quarterback in any decade in NFL history. Oh, by the way, his Dallas Cowboys won 3 Super Bowl titles. Enough said. Aikman, an All-American at UCLA, was drafted as the first overall pick of the 1989 NFL Draft by the Cowboys. From then on, as Troy Aikman grew as an NFL quarterback, so too did the Cowboys, developing into one of the NFL's greatest teams. Completing a pass on his first NFL play, Aikman became the first Cowboy rookie quarterback to start the season opener since Roger Staubach, Hall of Famer, in 1969. But he'd go winless as a starter that first season, while the Cowboys endured a 1-15 campaign. 1991 saw the emergence of Aikman, running back Emmitt Smith, and wide receiver Michael Irvin as the triplets, and the Cowboys reached the second round of the NFL playoffs. Aikman led the NFC in completion percentage that year, earned his first Pro Bowl selection as well. 1992 would be the culmination of the growth for Aikman and the Cowboys. He threw for a career-high 3,445 yards, along with 23 touchdowns, as he led Dallas to a club record 13 regular season wins. Rolling through the playoffs, Aikman completed over 68% of his passes while throwing for 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. In Super Bowl 27, Aikman earned MVP honors, throwing 4 TD passes in a 52-17 trouncing of the Bills. From a league worst 1-15 in 1989 to Super Bowl champs in 1992, the Cowboys and Aikman had arrived as a premier power in the NFL and began their own dynasty in Dallas. The next 3 seasons saw the Cowboys go 12-4 each time, while adding 2 more world championships in Super Bowl 28 and Super Bowl 30. In all, Aikman led Dallas to 6 NFC East crowns and 4 straight berths in the NFC Championship game. He'd end his career as the Cowboys' all-time leader in passing yardage and touchdown passes, as well as one of the NFL's most accurate passers. The 2000 season, Aikman's 12th in the league, would be his final campaign for the Cowboys, as injuries and concussions would finally take their toll. Aikman finished with a 105-75 career record as starter, including 11-4 in the postseason. Dallas made it to the playoffs in 8 of Aikman's 12 seasons. Already honored in the famed Cowboys Ring of Honor, a 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time world champ, and Super Bowl MVP, Troy Aikman is now a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2006. To present Troy today, his mentor in his early days in Dallas. Back then he was offensive coordinator, coached the quarterbacks, later himself became head coach of the Redskins, and the Raiders now coaching the offense with San Francisco. Please welcome back to the Cowboy fold, if you will, Norv Turner.
I must say it's awfully nice, even though if it's just for a weekend, to be around the Cowboy fans and Troy. I remember it like it was yesterday, the first time I met Troy Aikman. He was in a meeting, he was standing in a meeting room. He had his arm in a sling. He was recovering from shoulder surgery. He had been slammed to the turf at the vet by Clyde Simmons. I think Reggie got in on that one also. I joked to Troy, we've got to get you to get rid of that ball a little quicker. He didn't laugh. In fact, he gave me that look he can give you that says, hey, let's get to work. A few weeks later, we had a chance to go out in the field for the first time. I remember after the workout, calling my good friend and coach, Ernie Zampese. I told him I'd never seen anything like it. Few have had the great release, the unbelievable arm strength, and incredible accuracy of Troy Aikman. A couple years ago, during an interview, I was asked if I got to coach one game, who would I choose as my starting quarterback? As you saw today, there's a lot of great ones to choose from, but it was really a very easy question for me to answer. I told him I'd choose Troy. The interviewer politely asked me why. I said, because I want to win. I further explained my answer. Troy was consistently the most accurate passer I've ever seen. What fans saw on Sunday, his teammates saw every day of the week. Another one of Troy's real strengths was his ability to bring out the best in everyone around him. Troy was driven to be the best, and he expected the same from everyone around him. I really felt it was Troy's drive, along with Coach Jimmy Johnson's leadership, that had accounted for that worst to first you just saw on the screen. Troy's greatest strength as a player was his ability to focus and stay focused in the most unusual circumstances. Troy had the ability to make the play when it mattered the most. You know, after a game, a lot of times you have those ifs. You know what I'm talking about. If we'd completed that ball on 3rd and 4, we would have won the game. You also have those whys. Why'd they throw the ball in that situation? They could have given it to Emmett. With Troy, you didn't have those ifs and whys. The best example to me was in the '92 championship game with 4 minutes left in the game. There was no ifs. Alvin Harper ran a slant. Troy hit him right between the numbers. Alvin ran down the field inside the 10 and took Troy, himself, and the rest of the Cowboys right to the Super Bowl. If you look at Troy's greatest plays, they came in the most critical situations. If you look at his greatest games, they came against the best teams, and they came in the playoffs. Troy's one of the most unselfish players to have played. He knew the things he had to do to give his team the best chance to win. In an era of super egos, he never let his get in the way of winning. Super Bowls were more important than statistics. Today, Troy is being honored as one of the greatest players ever. It was a thrill for me to coach him 3 years in Dallas. During that time, we became great friends and won 2 Super Bowls. It was very difficult coaching against Troy and the Cowboys the next 7 years. During that 10-year era, Troy was the winningest quarterback in the National Football League. It was great for me to watch Troy grow as a player, but more than that, it was a thrill to watch him grow as a man. I feel privileged to present Troy today, but I feel more privileged to have been his close friend throughout the years. Troy's teammates would tell you he was the leader of those great Dallas teams of the 90s. It's fitting that he's the first of that group to enter the Hall of Fame. I look forward to future years when he'll be joined by his great coach, Jimmy Johnson, his teammates, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Larry Allen, and hopefully others. It's a great honor and thrill to present to the Hall of Fame Dallas quarterback, number 8, Troy Aikman.
Troy and Norv together one last time. And there you see the bus that will go into Canton that Norv helped shape so much with the way he called the game for Troy. Troy Aikman now at the podium.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to first of all say that I'm very pleased to see all the people who have stuck around here today. I know it's been a long day. I know it's hot. I know a lot of you have come to watch other inductees and have reason to leave, but you've stuck it out, and I appreciate that very much. I'd also like to say that the people in Canton, Ohio have been absolutely terrific. Over the last 3 days that we've been here, the hospitality that they've shown myself and my family has been nothing short of spectacular. I look forward to many return trips to the Canton area in the future years. I don't anticipate missing many Hall of Fame weekends. Thank you for the hospitality and thank you for the courtesy you've shown me and my family. You know, it's said you're judged by the company you keep. If that's true, I'm in great standing today. It's an honor to be a member of a Hall of Fame induction class that includes 5 men for whom I have such an admiration and respect. Warren Moon, Reggie White, Harry Carson, and Rayfield Wright played the game the way it should be played. John Madden coached the game the same way. I would have loved to have had any one of them on my team. I, too, am saddened by the absence of Reggie White, an amazing player, an even better man who left us far too soon. Reggie, Warren, Harry, Rayfield, and John represented the game with class, just as Leslie Visser, the first female recipient of the Pete Rozelle Award, brought respect and professionalism to the field of journalism for her work in print and broadcasting. It makes me proud to be in their company today. I'm honored as well to have Norv Turner here today as my presenter. Norv was my coach for 3 years. That's it. I started playing football at the age of 7 and retired when I was 34, and of all those years, Norv and I were together for only 3. And yet there's no doubt in my mind that if Norv Turner had not entered my life, I wouldn't be joining these men in the Pro Football Hall of Fame today. He meant that much to my career and to the Dallas Cowboys. Norv came to Dallas as an offensive coordinator in 1991, my 3rd season, and turned around one of the worst offenses in the National Football League and gave guidance to a young quarterback who was in desperate need of some direction. We went to the playoffs that season, and over the next 2 years won back-to-back Super Bowls. At a time when many coaches are guarded about getting too close to their players, Norv proved that you could be both a great coach and a great friend. And yet, is our friendship that is most special because it has endured long after he stopped coaching me in Dallas. He's the big brother I never had. And I thank him for having the single biggest influence on my career. Thank you, Norv. I wouldn't be here without you. When I was a kid, all I ever wanted to be was a professional athlete. It wouldn't have happened without the help of a lot of great coaches. I was blessed to be coached by some of the game's best, beginning with my earliest years of junior All-American football in Cerritos, California with the Suburban Hornets. Mario Orozco, Rod Davis, Manny DeSalva taught me the fundamentals of the game and what it meant to be a good sport. As I moved on to junior high and high school ball in Henrietta, Oklahoma with the Henrietta Hens, that's right, our mascot was the Hens, Fighting Hens, as if maybe that instilled a little bit of doubt in our opponents' minds. Anyway, Bill Holt and Ish Kanadaby there in Henrietta taught me about the sacrifices that must be made to excel. Following high school, I attended Oklahoma University and was coached by one of the winningest coaches in college football history, Barry Switzer. It was also while at Oklahoma that I got coached by Mack Brown, current head coach of the defending national champion Texas Longhorns. Although my time at Oklahoma was brief, it was there that I first learned how difficult playing the quarterback position could be. It was through those disappointments, however, that led to my transfer into UCLA. That decision would turn around my career. I owe so much of my success to UCLA and to my head coach there at the time, Terry Donahue. Coach Donahue represented UCLA with class and integrity and was a great example for the young men that he coached. His impact on me was significant. He would often tell me and the team, things are never as good as you think they are or ever as bad as you think they are. Sound advice that I would have to remind myself of often during my early years in Dallas. Coach Donahue, thank you for providing me an opportunity at UCLA and having such a positive influence on my life. So many other coaches are responsible for my development as a player. Rick Enos, Danny Spurlock, Kent Lackey, Steve Aikman, Rick Neuheisel, Jerry Rome, Hudson Houck, Joe Avisano. Joe's been a great friend to me and my family for many years, and I thank him for his support throughout my career. Ernie Zampese, my offensive coordinator in Dallas for 4 years, including when we won Super Bowl 30, and was one of the best offensive minds and greatest people that this game has ever known. Ernie couldn't be with us today. I know he's watching, and Ernie, I say thank you for everything. And then, of course, there was Jimmy. Jimmy Johnson and I arrived in Dallas the same year, 1989, both fresh from college, both eager to prove ourselves. Didn't take long to see that Jimmy was unique, and it wasn't just because of his hair. I think what struck me most about Jimmy was his fearlessness. Some coaches play not to lose. Jimmy always played to win. Some guard against overconfidence. Jimmy insisted on it. Jimmy's boldness set the tone for a young group of players who didn't know much about winning but were eager to learn. Jimmy was the right coach at the right time for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm grateful to have been given the opportunity to play for him. I was also fortunate to have played for a franchise whose owner was as committed to winning as anybody on the field. Every move Jerry Jones made was done with the sole purpose of helping the Cowboys win championships. That's what he was about then, and still is to this day. As a quarterback, the player who more than any other is ultimately judged on his ability to win, I couldn't have asked for anything more from an owner. It was a privilege to play for Jerry and the rest of the Jones family, and I appreciate the opportunity that they gave me and their commitment to making the Cowboys a championship organization. Thank you very much. In addition to great coaching and ownership, I had the pleasure of playing with a very gifted and special group of players. It's no wonder we enjoyed so much success in the 90s, considering all the talent we had. I enjoyed the best seat in the house as I watched Emmitt Smith run his way to the NFL's all-time rushing record. Michael Irvin, whose work ethic was second to none, was one of the most special teammates I've ever had the opportunity to play with. I always took great pride in being a part of the triplets with Michael and Emmitt. There were so many other special players that I had a chance to play with, guys such as Jay Novacek, the irreplaceable and unsung hero of our franchise, Daryl Moose Johnston, the blue-collar guy who I'm not ashamed to say was better at his job than any other player on the team was at theirs, including myself. Charles Haley, no one came more prepared to play or played harder on game day than Charles did. Jason Garrett, my confidant and greatest ally on the field and in quarterback meetings for the majority of my career. Del Hellestrae, not only was he the best long snapper in the league, but he also proved to be a great listener to all my frustrations on many Saturday nights. Thank you, Strapper. Golf game hadn't gotten any better. I was also protected for many years by one of the best offensive lines of all time. Mark Tuinay, Nate Newton, Mark Stepnoski, John Giesick, Eric Williams, Larry Allen, and Kevin Gogan. As talented as all of these players were, however, they were even better teammates. When I look back at my football career and the championship seasons, I think of all of my teammates from Henrietta to UCLA to Dallas that shared in those moments, and I thank all of you. I certainly would not be here without you. As I look at the men on this stage behind me, I think about the many great moments that they helped produce, the championships their teams won, and the fans they entertained. They all made significant contributions to their teams, and that's why they're here. In Dallas, my role as the quarterback was to move our team down the field and score points. Sometimes that meant passing the ball, sometimes it meant handing it off. We had a good system in Dallas. Although it wasn't one that allowed me to put up big numbers, that was fine. I did what was asked to help the team win, so it is extremely gratifying that after a career of putting team accomplishments in front of personal achievement, today I am receiving the greatest individual honor a football player could ever receive. I didn't seek it, and yet I'm here. I'm so grateful to the NFL, to the Cowboys, to my teammates, and to my coaches for helping me get here. There are two other people that deserve mention. The first is Lee Steinberg. Lee was my agent throughout my career, and I was always proud to have him, along with Jeff Morad, representing me during contract negotiations. There's not a better example of Lee's support for his clients than the fact that Warren Moon selected him to be his presenter today. The second person is my longtime business advisor, Mark Grigg. I've known Mark since I was 22 years old, and since that time, I've not met a finer, more trustworthy person. Mark, thank you for the commitment and support over the last 17 years. I'm also very grateful to my family. My mother, Charlene, sacrificed so much for myself and my two sisters, shuttling us to practices, attending our games, fixing meals, keeping our uniforms clean, and basically always being there for us whenever we needed her, regardless of whatever else might have been occupying her time at the moment. Mom, you're an amazing woman. You've always given more than you've gotten, yet I don't think you'd have it any other way. The older I get, the more I understand how much you sacrificed, and your children will forever be indebted to you. My father, Ken, taught me early on that through hard work I could achieve anything I wanted in life. Dad, you were right. You taught me about discipline, toughness, and life's most important lesson, to never quit. My intensity on the field was a reflection of you, and your impact on my athletic career was greater than you'll ever know. I was also lucky to grow up with two terrific sisters, at least most of the time. Terry and Tammy were pretty good athletes themselves, and since I didn't have a brother, they were the ones who satisfied my need to get better by playing catch, running routes, rebounding baskets, and doing pretty much everything else little brother needed. I thank both of you for all the support and love you've shown me through the years. There's now a new team of Aikman women in my life. My wife, Rhonda, is my best friend. She inspires me daily in ways that no one ever has before. The past 8 years have been, without question, the best years of my life. Rhonda, you're a wonderful mother and example to our three daughters, Rachel, Jordan, and Alex. The four of you make me so proud and give my life purpose, and I'm so thankful to have such a wonderful family. I'd also like to thank the many friends, family, and fans who have traveled great distances to share this moment with me today. Thank you. Your friendship and support means so much to me, as it did throughout my career. Football is a great game that has afforded me many things and provided much happiness. But my greatest blessings in life have been my family and friends. A high school coach once told me that in life you have a lot of acquaintances, but very few friends. For most, that's probably true, but not for me. The many friendships in my life are what make me feel every single day like I'm the luckiest guy in the world, and I thank all of you for being here today. In closing, I'd like to share something that a close friend used to tell me back when I was playing. He'd say this when times were tough. Maybe we'd lost a close game and I'd thrown the deciding interception, or the grind and the rigors of the season were beginning to take their toll on me. And what Norv Turner would say was this: sometimes we have to remind ourselves that these are the jobs we've always dreamed of having. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves that these are the jobs we've always dreamed of having. Norv was right. For as long as I can remember, all I ever wanted was to play pro sports. A lot of kids want that, but very few actually get the chance. I was able to live a dream. I played professional football. That I was able to do so with so many great players and coaches, and win 3 world championships, and wind up here today with all these great men in gold jackets, well, it's almost too much to believe. I am humbled to be welcomed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I thank you.
That was great. How about that, Calvin? Troy Aikman, stoic on the field, a stoic, fiery leader of the Dallas Cowboys. Yet, Tom, as we saw, arguably the most emotional speech we've seen out of 6 people today.
You know, oftentimes it happens that way, Trey. I remember back when Bud Grant was inducted, and again, you used the right word, so stoic, you know, on the field. But at that moment of induction, you just see all of this emotion pour out, and you see how important this was to Troy Aikman. You know, you can't help but be moved by it.
Well, I thought he was interesting, too, that he made the point that it's a team game that he played.
Absolutely.
And by playing the team game to near perfection, he's here with an individual accomplishment, getting in to the 2006 Hall of Fame with a class of 6. Aikman among those. We'll come right back after this.